Hey, it's Sydney Diggs here. First off, I just wanted to thank y'all for the opportunity being able to apply to the scholarship. I'm a first-year veterinarian student at the Tuskegee University, and today I'm just going to talk a little bit about a challenge that I see for the food animal agriculture industry coming up over the next 10 years. What it all boils down to is consumer education. And the reason I say that is because you see a lot of media these days pushing for plant-based proteins, pushing against animal-based proteins because they think a number of things. One, they think that animal-based protein is unhealthy, which is not true. I'll talk a little bit about that and the heart healthiness of it in just a minute. The other thing is that they're trying to say that we're cruel to animals in the animal ag industry. I'm sure you've had your fair share of dealings with PETA and numerous other organizations that are against food animal agriculture. So let's take a look at the consumer education on health of eating animal-based protein. Well, first off, your bioavailable nutrients are way higher in animal-based protein sources rather than plant-based protein sources. So that's the number one big thing that I start off telling people when they're trying to figure out what's healthier for them. And two, if you look at the amount of calories, a lot of people are really hung up on the amount of calories that are in the food that they eat. Well, it's true that animal-based proteins are typically going to have more calories in them, but a lot of people are not considering the nutrient density of those calories. So for instance, if I eat 300 calories of beef protein versus 300 calories of plant protein, I'm going to get, we'll just throw out a number, double the amount of protein that I would in those 300 animal-based calories rather than the plant calories. I might only get 100 I would get half of the protein from that one. So, and those are just, figures that I threw out there. Another thing to consider is a lot of people don't really realize how much protein they need to have on a daily basis. The recommended daily allowance of protein is really only a third of what people need to be at their optimal performance level, we'll call it. The recommended daily allowance is actually just the amount of protein that you need to not be diseased. So we all know that there's a huge difference between not being diseased and functioning at an optimal level. I don't know about you, but I want to function at an optimal level on every day. So that's the other thing, is consumer education, realizing that you actually need way more protein than what you can actually physically consume as a human being just from plant-based protein sources. So the other aspect of that is talking about animal cruelty and being kind to animals. Well, I don't know about you and how you have seen cows treated, but these guys have it made, if you ask me. Get a little bit of feed. They're out on a nice little pasture. We got some little chickens running around here, keeping them company. We got horses. Well, our horses aren't in the same pasture, but a lot of your typical consumers just believe that every source of beef protein, for instance, is just shoved onto a feedlot, crammed into dirt spaces, and pumped antibiotics and hormones daily, and they're really not understanding the concept that not all beef is raised that way. Now, there is a place for that kind of protein in our system, I feel like, but my husband and I work really hard at Diamond D Ranch to provide clean beef. So we have no antibiotics, no added hormones to our beef production. And we don't really have to do the antibiotic every day because we have a healthy environment that we keep them in, and we're not overcrowding them. They have plenty of room to move around, live in a natural environment. And we love these animals because we're out here every single day taking care of them. So that's the other aspect about the animal care education end of things. Now, the third topic that I'd like to briefly discuss with consumer education is about environmental health. See, a lot of people want to say that cows, cow farts are the thing to be afraid of. Oh, he's eating my hair. How's that? Well, this is not true. Cows do release carbon into the air, but if they're on a natural pasture, the way that they actually defecate and urinate in the soil, their hooves actually push that carbon back into the soil, and it actually builds a healthier soil environment. It's a closed carbon system, is what I'm saying. So they produce carbon, but they also then put it back into the soil eventually. So that is the education aspect that I feel like needs work, and that's what I'm doing about it. We are educating our consumers on an email list that we send out to them to try and teach them some of these topics. So thanks again. Y'all have a good one.